the rest of the way to Dawson. Papa touched Hetty's shoulder, bringing her out of her thoughts. He pointed to where many scows were landing. "Looks like we'll unload right at the water's edge. Take whatever you can carry up to dry ground, beyond reach of the tide. One of you girls must guard our supplies up there while the other helps Maria haul the rest. I'll go back to the ship to help Donald." "Is it safe, Glenn, to leave one of the girls alone?" Maria Vasquez asked. She frowned and shaded her eyes from the weak sunshine. "I think so. We have no choice. Don't talk to anyone, Hetty." The scow thumped aground. Papa and the other passengers began to unload boxes and crates. Mrs. Vasquez lifted her small trunk. Hetty stumbled in the wet sand as she stepped off the scow, but she and Alma together grabbed a 25-pound bag of oatmeal and ran for higher ground. Saturated with water, the bag was twice as heavy as it should have been. As Mrs. Vasquez and Alma ran back for another load, Hetty stood guard and watched the tide rising, waves rolling in like a hungry monster heading for their food. "Your turn, Hetty," Alma said when she returned with another load. "I'll guard. I need to rest." Hetty dashed back toward the water and lifted a slab of bacon and a bag of dried apricots. She slipped on the muddied sand. A boy about her age grabbed her arm and steadied her. He grinned and hurried on. When it was her turn to guard again, Hetty leaned on a crate to ease her aching muscles and stared at the scurrying people around her. Down near the water, supplies were piled into mountains. Tents, frying pans, sheet iron stoves, luggage, bales of hay, coils of rope, shovels, and gold pans. Everyone had similar things. Everyone had read the supply lists in the San Francisco Call. They had spent their life savings making sure they bought every item. Everything they owned was stacked right here. People scrambled over and between the piles like rats or mice, looking for crates, barrels, or trunks labeled with their names. Hetty saw one man climb on a hill of unclaimed provisions and start to call out names. "Carter, Simmons, Redcliffe." He tossed bags and boxes into waiting arms. Dogs barked. A goat seemed to laugh at the frenzy around them, but maybe she was scared or needed to be milked. The air filled with gulls screeching and diving for loose scraps of food. Hetty saw Alma scramble through the crowd, carrying a big tin of tea. "There are more people on this beach than in the entire city of San Francisco, Alma." Alma giggled. "Stop exaggerating, Hetty. I agree there must be thousands of people here, but... Look, isn't that Mr. Parker?" Alma pointed to a man they'd met on the steamer. He was sitting closer to the water on a tent roll, crying. "You watch our things, Alma. When Papa said not to talk to anyone, he meant a stranger. I'm going to see what's wrong." Hetty ran to the giant man. She and Alma had been afraid of Amos Parker at first. He was nearly 7 feet tall and looked fierce until they got to know him. "Mr. Parker, what's the matter?" Mr. Parker looked up and wiped his eyes. "I've lost everything, Hetty. All 2,000 pounds. He wiped his nose on the sleeve of his dirty red shirt. "Those blasted sailors threw everything off the steamer without a care. What wasn't lost in the water is either broken or wet." "Are you sure it's all ruined? As soon as Papa gets back, we'll help you carry things to higher ground." Hetty was exhausted, but if Mr. Parker needed help, she would work some more. "It's too late. Too late. I'll have to go home, although the journey's just starting, although we've just set foot in Alaska. No prospecting for gold for me." Tears ran into Mr. Parker's black beard. Hetty had rarely seen a grown man cry, and certainly not one as huge as Amos Parker. With a heavy heart, but knowing there was nothing she could do, she ran back to Alma and explained Mr. Parker's dilemma. Wind started to blow, and Hetty bounced to stay warm. The sun was a huge, sparkling dinner plate, but the air was crisp and cold, signaling the coming fall. It was already the 22nd of September, 1897. Papa had wanted to get an earlier start, but all the ships had been booked. From the moment that prospectors stepped off a steamer in San Francisco Bay last July, shouting, "Gold! We found gold in the Yukon!" everyone had wanted to sail north to seek his fortune. Hetty had heard stories about people